back and available?
We're getting there. Chris will practice most of the week now, so he'll be back. And then Cody, we hope by week's end, is back. What his availability will be for Saturday, I'm not for sure, but if everything goes well, Chris will be available for Saturday.
When was the last time Chris practiced?
I'm guessing it seems like a lot longer when you miss somebody like that, but probably 10. It's been 10 to 14 days that he's been out.
And what's his injury?
Just a bruise. Just a bruise of being cautious with, and Cody's the same way.
We're talking about Chris Wilkes, right?
Yes. Yes, I'm sorry. Chris Wilkes.
What are you hoping to get out of this exhibition game?
Just continue the progress and learning, because we're 2 weeks from today. So 2 weeks from today we tip it up for the season. So it's about taking that exhibition game and just moving forward of what we've been doing and what we've been seeing in practice. And the things we've been emphasizing, seeing if we can improve and get better on that. And with having as many guys that have inexperience like we do, right now if you look at the 10 guys, hopefully Cody's back, but if you've got those 10 guys, I want to say 6 or 7 of those haven't even played a second. So it's about getting as many people in here as we can, having some noise, having some distractions, having game day environment, and really trying to get them as much experience as we can from that standpoint.
What would you say is Coach Bartow's early impact on these guys?
Well, one, he's somebody that I appreciate because it helps me a lot. A guy that's had a head coaching experience for 18 years, so he understands my seat. He understands. He's called timeouts. He's organized a team before, and I think that's where we've seen the benefit, starting all the way back till June, and then trying to figure out what we're going to look like from zone to man defensively. I told him I really wanted to stay on the offense and really wanted to give him the defense. It was kind of the flip of that when I was at New Mexico, and I've enjoyed moving back to the offensive side since being here. So having somebody that I can really trust, give the defense to, and let him dive into that, I think he's been very excited about that. So his role and what he's trying to do is really create a culture defensively, whether we're in zone, man, or press, of really doing the things that we want to do. So that's where he's with everything that we do, just like all my staff. But I've really got him zeroed in defensively.
With Coach Bartow here, what has changed kind of from a practice standpoint of what he focuses on defensively compared to what was before?
Well, before just kind of doing a lot of it, where now it's I can watch defense, but my focus can be offense, and I got somebody that I can really just say, you got all 100% defense. And that's helped me because it's allowed me to be freed up to see all the aspects that I need to see, especially at the offensive end, and trusting him defensively. Hopefully we'll have more consistency at both ends. Last year, still pretty efficient offensively, but defensively not a lot the improvement that we had hoped. Now we had obviously personnel changed before game one, and that affects what you're doing. We are long, we are athletic, even with Alex being out for a while, not going to have Sharif or Tiger for the season. Alex will be back, hopefully somewhere around the first of the year we'll get him back. So we've got some guys that have really good length, and hopefully that one of the things we didn't do last year, we didn't create turnovers, and our three-point percentage defense was nowhere where it needs to be. So kind of a combination of what we do with three-point percentage defense, what we do on turning people over, and doing a really good job on the backboard. If we can do those three things better defensively, then I think that's going to help us at both ends of the court. It definitely helps us offensively. Now, the other side of that, offense affects defense. We can't be a team that's turning the ball over at a high level, and we've been very good here in the 5 years of taking care of the ball, and we need to do that because if we're turning the ball over at a high level, we're never getting our defense set. So it kind of goes hand in hand, but now it's when I meet with Murray, we're talking about his side, my side, and how we make each other better, and so the dialogue since June has been really good with that.
When did you first meet him?
When I was a junior in college, he was Coach Knight's grad assistant. So Coach Knight hired him out. He played at UAB for his father, and when he graduated from UAB, he wanted to get into coaching. And so my junior and senior year in college, He was our grad assistant at Indiana. So I've known him a long, long time.
Was he a good grad assistant?
Oh yeah, because grad assistant under Coach Knight, you're quiet, you're in the background, you don't say anything, and but it's been a lot of fun because as a player we had these red notebooks, and he came in about a month ago carrying a bag, and he had like 8 of those red notebooks that he writes down everything, and so it's been a lot of fun going back and reminiscing, not just so much the 2 years he was with me when I was playing, but also seeing some of the things Coach Knight was emphasizing and the things that sometimes as a player you forget. It's generated some conversation in our meetings that, and yeah, we need to think about this, or this is a pretty good way of saying it, and those type of things, because he took notes on everything.
Coach, with Aaron and Thomas no longer here, that's a pretty big chunk of your three-point shooting. Have you seen anyone really step up in terms of that over the summer? Yeah,
not just three-point shooting with those two, but leadership and guys that, Tom was a 4-year guy and Aaron was a 3-year guy. So that's kind of the concern, is that those two are go-to guys. You knew you could go to Aaron, put the ball in his hands, and more times than not he's going to create something good. And you had Tom that whatever you ran for him was pretty efficient. So now it's trying to find out who's that role is going to be. And so it's not just the three-point shooting, it's kind of the experience side, but three-point shooting, we got guys that can shoot it. We have seen that. Obviously Hands and Wilkes can shoot the basketball. Chris Smith's shooting has improved. I think with what we have with our freshmen, David Singleton can really shoot the basketball. Jules is coming. Jules is a big-time driver, but shooting the ball much better from the arc. I think the difference is you don't have that special big like you had in Tom. Tom was a unique player that way, where you could put a 7-footer at the three-point line, but we're different. With Mo, you got somebody that runs the floor extremely hard, and something that we haven't really had is, 1, a rim protecting guy, and 2, a guy you could throw lobs to. And I think our bigs now are more in the area of, instead of picking and popping and shooting 3, we're throwing the ball to the rim and letting them go get it. All those guys do that. Jay Hill does it, Kenny does it, Mo does it. Now guys that could pick and pop some would be Alex when he comes back, and Cody Riley is an inside-outside guy, maybe our best low post presence. So I think you'll see us more, our offense will evolve more around high-low post, and then the drive and kick threes come from that than maybe what it's been in years past.
Do you foresee this $125,000 G League thing being a threat to college basketball?
Well, I don't think threat wouldn't be the word I used. I think it's just it's going to be an option that the elite players have coming out of high school, and now those players have to, there's just more information they got to gather to figure out just the path they want to take, because ultimately if I'm a player and I'm an elite player coming out of high school, my whole goal is to make sure if I feel like I'm a one-and-done guy, it's about the upcoming draft. It's my draft positioning is what's going to be key if I'm a one-and-done type of player. So with that, yes, you're going to get that money if that's what is going to be interest. Everybody comes from different backgrounds, but you are going to be playing against professionals. You're playing in a league that has 25, 26, 27, even 28-year-olds in it. That's their paycheck. They're out of college, and that's their business. And so you're playing against grown men that are doing everything they can to get a paycheck. Where in college, you're playing against basically guys your own age. It's what you've been used to playing against. So what's the best avenue of making sure, if I'm not going to be somebody in college very long and I am a one-and-done or two-and-done, how am I best positioning myself for the draft that I'm projecting to be? Because that's the bottom line. You can go that route if you want to go that route, but if your draft stock dives, to me that's a huge negative, because once you have that mindset of the NBA, they don't change very often. It takes a lot if they say, oh no, you're this, it takes a lot for them to say, oh no, you're this now. It's going to take years of that development. I think that's the positive about college, is that you're going to do it against your own age, guys you've already played against that you're comfortable with. You're going to be highlighted at that college that you attend. You're going to be highlighted. G League, you're probably not going to be highlighted because there's other guys that are going to have the ball and have their own mindset about how to do it. And then, obviously the educational piece to me still comes into play, because I think that's important. You wouldn't get any kind of start on your college degree that way. If you're one and done, you're at least getting you know, guys get to 25% of a degree if you're a one and done. If you don't do it at all, you're obviously going to be at zero at that. And I think there's a big merit for that educationally too.
What are your thoughts on just the coaching difference between the college level and the G League and the development that comes from that?
Well, it's not so much coaching being one way better than the other. It's two different games. You're looking at a vastly different game. The NBA, as much as college is trying to mirror it, and there's discussion now. You know, there's still discussion there. Are we going to keep the line the same? Are we going to move it? And it's trying to grow towards the FIBA game. You know, where do we grow this to a FIBA line? Does the lane expand? We've already gone from a shot clock of years ago, no shot clock, 45, 35, 30. It just continues to do this. So even though we're trying this, it seems like rule-wise, get the college game closer. It's a complete different game because the college game is still being played by basically 18 to 20-year-olds, some 21-year-olds, but it's 18 to 21. That game's being played by grown men. That game's being played by 30-year-olds that they got all the tricks, they got all the talent. It's the highest level of basketball you can play at. So that would be the thing that, not so much coaching as much as it is who you're playing against. And coming out of high school, I would think as a former player, the hardest thing for me would have been going from 17, 18-year-old to playing against 30-year-old. That's a whole different deal than playing against a 19 or 20-year-old. I'd have never made it. Now that's a different era than what it is today, but with that new policy, I think they do have to look at where am I going to be most marketable once it's time for me to enter the draft.